Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about Woman Hollering Creek, written by Sandra Cisneros. So, I really don't want to summarize this novel. It's not really a linear story. It's this novel or this book is a collection of stories. And there's a lot that is within this novel. To go through all of the short stories and talk about the significance of each story would take forever. What I do want to talk about is um, the gender um, conflicts or the constructs of gender that exist within this novel. I think that this book is brilliant. There's so much that is said here. For me, the most important part of this book is really what it says about um, the happily ever after that everybody looks for. Especially in the Western world, everybody is always um, given the notion that you're going to grow up and you're going to find that right person and you're going to get married and live happily ever after. That is simply not the case, especially right now in the United States. That is simply not the case. Like you know, 50% of marriages end in divorce in the United States. So the idea that you're going to go off into the sunset and be happily ever after, it's becoming rare, and I think that's a an enormous problem. And I think to me that this novel says a lot. Now, there there are other ways to look at this book, to look at how it portrays women, how it portrays men, how it portrays different things that women go through. But when we go down to the fundamentals of this novel, when we look at how Hispanic women are depicted, it's extremely important. So, this novel, this book is called Woman Hollering Creek. And when we examine this novel to its fundamental meaning, you have a lot of these women within these short stories, and they are looking for a better life, or they're looking to be happy. A lot of them are looking to be married and to be happy. Some of them leave home and leave their families so that they can be with their husbands and have a lot of families. And what they come to find is a lot of their husbands are either liars or cheaters, or they take money and go out drinking, or they do all sorts of things that don't fit into that happily ever after picture. And I think that Sandra Cisneros, she really wrote the truth here, because this book, this novel is really close to reality, because in reality, you most people don't get that happily ever after. Most people don't get that that imaginary lifestyle that they dream up for themselves. Now, as human beings, we are incredibly optimistic, and we're always going to look for that happiness ending. But we also have to put a bit of reality within it. And I think that this novel, even though it's a book, it really brings it down to earth and just really show you what reality is like. And that's what I take away from this novel. It's the realism and the realistics behind it, because you have a lot of these women praying to Virgin de Guadalupe. Now, this is Virgin Mary, or it's a religious existence that a lot of these women within this novel they pray to. They call her Virgin de Guadalupe, and they pray to her to send them good fortunes, to send them blessings, to send them even material goods. In this novel, you see a lot of women or families asking this deity to send them good fortunes, money, clothing, men, husbands, kids, whatever you think of. They ask Virgin de Guadalupe to send them blessings or to send them good fortunes so that their lives could be better. There's one woman that asked for a very specific man to be sent to her, and she wants him to be perfect. And reading that line, I really took a step back from this novel, and I'm like, that's just not realistic. And I think that really reflects reality, because we often ask for things, or we seek for things that are completely out of reach, and it's more close to reality, and more close to what life is really like. Now, I'm not saying that happily ever afters don't exist, and it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong to chase after those things, but at the same time, I want us to be more down to earth, and to really look at what's possible and what's not possible. A lot of these women's, they were not looking at things that might go wrong. They were looking at things, that they were going to go off into the sunset. Not every story is like this, but there's a lot of stories where the women think they're going to go off into the sunset with their husbands and live a happy domestic life where they can just be happy and raise their kids. But that's just not the case, and a lot of these families break, or they people die, and that's another interesting thing. People never think about the calamities of life. There's some people that are looking to be happy and looking to live forever happy, but there are calamities that exist in life, and some of husbands or some family members die, and they have to deal with those unfortunate things that take place. So, Woman Hollering Creek is very interesting to me. There's a lot about women power, or how women deal with different things, and sometimes how women are blamed for things that happen to them, or sexual assault that happened to them. And, it's completely sad and it's completely unfortunate, but that's one of the reasons why this novel is so interesting and so important, because it doesn't give you that close ending that everybody's wishing for, because life is not like a book. Life, you don't often get what's right. Out of most movies, the hero always ends up happy with the girl or with the guy, or the happy family, or you know whatever you think of. But life doesn't often end like that in a happy ending. Life doesn't end with the the ending where everybody's happy. And I think that this book really brings that home, and to show that, you know, these women, they're praying for these wonderful lives. Some of them, I guess you can say, get them in a way, but at the same time, they struggle, they fight for certain things, and some of them just don't get it at all. So, Women Hollering Creek, really interesting. There's a lot of short stories in here that talk about, you know, there are some husbands that are abusing, there are some husbands that are cheat like liars, or they're cheating, and completely true. That definitely happens. Um, yeah, I think that this novel really brings that home, and really brings a hint or a taste of reality to the world of novels, and happy endings are most of the time they're not realistic. That's my review of this book, Woman Hollering Creek. Sandra Cisneros. This book is pretty much on the same level as um, House on Mango Street. They have some similarities. There's poverty in both, and there's struggles in both, and it really looks at identity. I think Sandra Cisneros is a woman who knows how to write about identity, and how people can develop identity. Because a lot of the women, some there are individuals within Women Howling Creek. They go off to college, and they try to find themselves or their identity, to really understand their place in life or in the world. That's my review. I hope you guys like that review. If you get a chance, read the book. And that's pretty much it. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.